Hey guys, so today I'm gonna show you guys my deck list that I brought to the Calling in Baltimore. And again, I went with a hero right here, Dromai. And so far I was happy with my results, although I wanted to do a bit better, but that comes with time and all that. And yeah, I guess let's just get started real quick. I want to show you guys my equipment that I played in the Calling. My lineup is just right here, Crown of Province. Got me. I was running the Phantasmal Footsteps, and there's a reason why. I was a lot of the deck list I've seen notice were going either aggro or full dragon control kind of thing. I was kind of somewhere in the middle where I'm like pseudo aggro, pseudo dragons, but most likely just trying to pressure with the Phantasm attacks. Then I'm also running the Flame Skull Furnace. It's like the one major chest piece that you need just for her. It generates a lot of ash for you and even resources as well. And then instead of going for the Seeker's Mitts, I opted to go for Silken Form. Reason for that is because if I ever face like a mirror match with another Dromai, I could at least use this to get myself an Ash Ring to like combat some of the board presence. Also, it does the same thing. Well, so it does something similar to the Seeker's Mitts, where I could mitigate at least one damage and generate Ash. Sure, I don't scry, I don't look at the top of my deck or anything, but it does allow me to at least generate Ash, create an Ash Wing, and even if I'm facing, say, like a wizard or whatnot, the Quell helps, as well as generating an Aether Ash Rings for the future Arcane Barrier. So yeah, I did also have a side for the Guardian matchup, which was the Ghostly Touch. Again, I think it's like one of the needed arm piece just to face those Guardian matchups. You know, one of your game-ending cards, one of your closing cards for those matchups as well. I think even Assassins too, but again, it's rare like to actually use a Ghostly Touch to finish them off. But and of course with her only weapon is a Storm of Sandakai. So yes, that's my weapons and equipment lineup. Next we'll move on to the blues I was running for this matchup, and I'll go to the size later too. But since you saw me play the Phantasm Footsteps, again, I was running more towards the Phantasm route. Because, again, when I was testing it, Talishar was working out really well, especially against Guardians. And again, when I was mentioning in my other video, it was my Guardian tech to face against them. When I was facing against Rangers, I didn't really have a hard time with it, because I was at least trying to put pressure on their life, and they rarely block anyway. So for my blues, I'm running one blue Dunebreaker Senpai. It's 1 for 3 block. It has go again, so yeah, that's why I run it. And again, for mid game to almost late game setup, I'm running 2 Pierce Reality. Now, reason for that is because this allows my illusionist attack action cards get a +2. Just imagine this as like our own Channel Mount Heroic. This did play pivotal points in some of my games, especially say if you're hitting Dust Up or other illusionist attacks, or even the Billowing Mirage and Sweeping Blows. Giving it +2 and they don't pop is a really good way to close out the games, and also put pressure on your opponent as well. So you're coming in for like 1 for 5 or 1 for 7, all that stuff, or even 0 for 6 with a Dust Up. So it's a really good card in my opinion, especially if you set it up early. Next, running 3 Ember Moss Senpais. Again, it's just a 2 for 6 with a Phantasm. I just mostly using it to generate Ash whenever I need it, especially if I'm full heavy dragons in the hand. It's a 2 for 6, generates Ash. If you're using the Ghostly Touch, it allows you to add additional, counters on it. And again, it's another way to pressure your opponent. Sure, if they pop it, you get, an Ash as well. But that's why I'm also running the boots, the Phantasm boots, because it's pressuring your opponent whether to okay, if I pop any of their Phantasm attacks, I'm giving them back an action. would I want them to have that so they could continue on with, like, say, pressuring it with generating a dragon or setting up auras. That was my reasoning for that, so that's why I'm running 2 Ember Moss Senpais. Again, I think they're pretty good too, especially for late game. And then I'm also running 3 Passing Mirage. These ones get sided out if I'm not facing against like heavy popper decks, and I just put in my D-Reacts instead. But this is for, like, again, the Guardian matchups. It's a good way to close the game. It's one of your setup main win condition setup, and yeah, that's what I'm playing. Next, I'm gonna show you my dragon list, and to start off, I'm running 1 Invoke Tomotai. It's just a really good dragon when you're able to you know, summon, play it. It's good enough for like mirror matches, good enough to play against Guardians and destroy their arcane barrier, and yeah, it's just a really good dragon. Next, I play 1 Invoke Dominia. Again, it's a really good legendary dragon, you know, able to like look at your opponent's hand and destroy a card. Good enough to like even play against Guardians again, just to see there are multiple poppers, take out 1 and take another one, so that's almost taking out 2 cards from them. And as well as mirror matches as well too. It's just a really good card. Then one of my main threats in terms of dragons would be Invoke Vincerikai. It's basically a 3/6 dragon or 3/9 that threatens. Like, they gotta deal with this. If they don't, they will probably be losing. I do run also their the sand for this, so I'll able to take out their Phantasm from it. Then I run 3 Invoke Yanderai, just a really tanky dragon. It's a 1/3, and it's a really hard dragon for them to take care of. I also run again 3 Invoke Kylorias, good enough to pressure drawing cards, good enough to, like, you know, taking out some items too if they haven't, and yeah, it's just a really good dragon. Next, I'm playing 3 Invoke Asvolai. It's a good way to close out games. 0/3 or 0/2 with 1 arcane. It's just a really good dragon to threaten boards, and good against mirror matches as well. You usually hold on to this whenever you're facing against another Dromai, just because you want to destroy their board presence. Next, I'm playing 3 Invoke Chromai. It's one of the main MVP dragons right here. Able to get you action points back, able to threaten their poppers and all that. Especially when you combo this with Mirror Guy, it's really hard for them to turn off your turns by, like, just basically popping it. And again, also 3 Invoke Mirror Guy, one of your main dragons to play. It allows you to basically lose your dragon phantasms. And a really neat fact, if you have Passing Mirage and Invoke Mirror Guy, if you attack one with one of your Phantasm Illusionist action, the Passing Mirage will protect that, and after that you attack with one of your dragons, and Invoke Mirror Guy protects that. So it's just a really good dragon. Next, I'm going to show you guys my non-dragon attacks, my non-dragon cards. And I was mostly, again, leaning towards the more Phantasm attacks. So I'm going to show you my first one. I went with 3 Ember Moss Senpai. This card, I feel like, is an underrated card. It's a good way to pressure out your opponents, especially for 2/8. And if you have the Pierce Realities coming at like 2/10, again, it's just a really good pressure card. Plus, if you just want to generate Ash early on in the game, this is just a really good card to start off with too. So yeah, run 3 of that. Next, I run 3 Spears of Surreality. Again, it's just a 1/5 with a Go Again and a Phantasm. And yeah, it's just a really good card to pressure your opponents. After that, I run 3 Dunebreaker Senpai. Again, it's the same thing as Spears of Surreality, but it also generates Ash if they pop it. It's just a 1/5. Next, I run 3 Dust Ups. Again, it's a good way to pressure your opponents, especially once it's 0/4. With Pierce Reality, you're looking at, say, 0/6. So if Pierce Reality is on board and you're able to block with your full hand, it's the one card that you're sitting on with, it's just a really good card. One of your main ash generator right here is Sweeping Blow. Again, it's a really good card. It's a 1 for 3 with a go again. It usually nets you like 2 ash, especially with your hero's ability. And with Pierce Reality, you're looking at this as a 1 for 5 go again. Next, I run as well 3 Billowing Mirage. This card here is the way to pressure your mirror matches, especially if you're trying to kill the dragons. It generates ash, it creates ash wings. Again, it's a really good card. It's a 1 for 3 and it blocks for 3. I also run 3 Burn 'em Alls, a good way to end games, close games, especially if you're able to destroy their arcane barrier. Again, it's a really solid card. It's a 0 for 3 with a go again. One of your MVP cards, especially for mirror matches, is this card right here, Rake the Embers. Just for the fact that it generates you 3 bodies on board, and Guardians have to literally either take care of that or just let it go. But again, it's a really good card for those kind of matches. I'll run 1 Blaze Headlong. I was thinking running it for 3, but when I was testing it out, 3 Blaze Headlong felt a little clunky, especially since it's a 2 block and you need another red for itself to, like, you know, go again. It's still a solid card. It's a 0 for 4, but I didn't plan on running 3 of it. I ran 3 Ravenous Rabble. It's a good way for me to start the dragon attack chains, just for the fact that it's a 0 for 5, but normally it's a 0 for 4 with a go again. It allows me to also see the top card of my deck, so if I ever want to like plan ahead, it allows me to do that. And again, it's just a good way to start off your attacks. And then next, I run 3 Command and Conquer. Again, this is mostly just for the Ranger matchup. It also functions just the way as like my Ember Moss Center pile, where if I want to just generate ash, it allows me to do that. And it's a 3 block too, so it's just a really solid card overall. Although it would be better if you had like a lot more blues per se, but again, this is just for the Ranger matchup in general. Now, I know you're wondering if why I'm not running like, say, Sigil of Solace. In testing, I kind of wanted to play it. I probably should have still at least have 1 or 2, but with on hits from Rangers, and sometimes I already get blown out by Guardians in terms of like if they're going for aggro. Sometimes Sigil just doesn't, you know, do a lot more. I would rather like block out the damage than just like gain 3 health sometimes, especially if there's an on hit effect that really is scary. Hence why I didn't plan on running it. Although now thinking about it, I might just want to put like maybe 1 and 2. So I'll probably do it in a future deck list, but for now, this is what I came out with and ran with at the Calling in Baltimore. Next, I'm just gonna show you guys my side. Most of it is mostly just for like Guardian / Rangers as well. So for my Guardian matchups, I side in Time Snap Potions. This is since I'm not running the Mage Master boots, I need to figure out a way to like at least get my Ghostly Touch, say like not a go again, but able to attack with a Passing Mirage combo. And I figured Time Snap Potion is a better card just because you could set it up early if you see it, let it sit there for a while until you actually have the right combo, and then you just pop off by like, say, playing your Passing Mirage and then playing your Ghostly Touch to close out and threaten a Guardian matchup. Again, this is what I only just side this against Guardians for the most part, just because of that, and it's just a really solid card with it against them. Next, I only just won 1 Remembrance. I might want to bump it up to 2 now, but I figure, well, I just want to see it when my graveyard's already like fully stacked and just get the ones I needed. I kind of felt like I didn't want to see a lot more of it just because it might get a little clunky, especially since it doesn't block, and you know, it's not a red. So yeah, but I might want to bump it up to 2 just for the fact that if Guardians are going a bit more fatigue, which I don't think would be the case. I think now they're somewhat going slightly more aggressive, but yeah, so that's why I only put 1. Next, again for my Guardian matchup, I run 2 Dust from the Red Desert, just for the fact that, and like around the mid game, if you're able to set it up as well, you're gonna give your Vincerikai no Phantasm, which is a good way to threaten Guardians out. Especially since they can't pop it, they just gotta like either take the 6 or block 2 cards with them. But yeah, it's just a good way to threaten your Guardian matches. Then I also run 1 Invoke Thamai. Sure, this is also good. I use this also as well against Wizard matchups, but it's also really good against Guardians as well, because of the fact that it stops them from playing their D reacts, as well as stopping their Oldham's ability to use his D reacts or his abilities in general, like the Ice react or Earth react. So it kind of makes their blocking a little bit awkward, especially if you have a way to turn off your Phantasms. Again, it's a really good card. I sat out maybe one of my Ember Moss Enterprise to put this in because it does cost for 2. Next, I play 2 Sand Cover. Again, it's a really solid card. It allows you to basically block out damage, 4 damage for the cost of 1 Ash. It might be a little pricey just for the fact that it's costing you 1 Ash, but I still find it's a really good card. It's like another D-React. Then, I also play 2 Oasis Respite. Again, another Wizard matchup if I ever see him. But again, it's a good way for me to mitigate some damage, especially since I think this is more like a tech towards Azalea if I'm seeing him, or even some of my hard matchups like Briar, which I did face and this did come in handy with against them. But again, this is like one of those things just in case if I feel like I'm facing against a Wizard mostly. Then after that, it's for my D reacts. I'm playing 2 Fate for Scenes. I didn't have a third one, hence why I'm only running 2. And 3 Sink Belows, because Sink Below is a really good D-React card. But yeah, that's it, guys. Again, just let me know what you think about my deck list. It could have been a bit better. I could have probably again added in some sigils and whatnot, but during testing, for some reason, this deck list felt right to me. Although I would say, if I'm going for the Phantasm route, there are better Phantasm attacks out there, such as the one that could, I forgot what the card is. The one that could, if it gets popped, you could make a copy of Aura that you control, which probably could have come in handy, especially since I'm running this card right here. I might test it with that. I'm gonna probably even go to a card store or go online and buy it, just for the fact that I want to keep abusing Pierce Reality. So if you like the content that I'm showing right now, just please give me a like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. Also, I made myself a Twitter account as well too. You could follow me at that. I'll post the links down below as well too, okay? With that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Till next time, alright? Peace.